What, Simon? What? Yeah, I'm literally edited it. I'm putting the episode out for TripAdvisor HHN bag review. UK? Universe? Yeah, UK Universe. What about it? Well, they can't hear you because you haven't got your mic on, but what? You want me? So we're doing about HHN UK instead first. Oh, see what I have to get through, guys. Roll the credits.
And a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to this very special Out of the Blue episode of the Halloween Horror Events podcast. It's a little bit out of schedule, and this is, well, it's not last minute. We have had a few days to digest this information, but we are back for another episode. So, in this episode, we are talking about the new announcement from Universal that came on the 8th, was it 8th, 9th of April, that Universal and the UK have decided that they are going to shut everything down and everything's going to disappear. No, we have been given official confirmation that how the Universal are building a theme park in Bedford, which then gives us how Universal Studios United Kingdom. So we were all going to be here, but somebody has made a cock up at work, so we can't make it. He's been locked back in the dungeon. But my other good friend and partner in crime, who's currently listening to something on his phone, so I managed to drag this out as long as I possibly can. But we are going to talk about this and do a little bit of a twist. We know we have been given confirmation that a Universal theme park in the UK is being built. It is in the planning stage still. But we're going to give it a twist. We're going to give it the HHN treatment because we are a Halloween Horror Events podcast. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce my partner in crime, Mr. Epic Phill. He was kind of doing some admin work, I think.
If anybody's wondering what's going on, then you probably like me being quiet. But the sheer fact was, Joe's not here. He's cluster mucked a job up. That he makes bathrooms. All I'm going to say is there's been a flood. That's all I'm going to say about it. He has just messaged he's got home, and I think he might try and make it on. I don't know. I'm keeping an eye on the messages, so he might come in at any point. He's going to do what Craig and Nick and that do from the After Dark Podcast Network.
Yeah, it's popping one of the asked.
Yeah, if he gets in time, then I'll sort the camera out a bit. That's better now. Yeah, so I am here. Yes, we are looking forward to Universal UK. I want press passes.
I think we all want press passes, mate. But what we'll do is, because the opposite of this is we do a video podcast, I will put up the concept art from Universal, and this is the park. If you're watching this on YouTube, this is the concept art for the park for Universal Studios United Kingdom. I don't know whether they're going to go United Kingdom or Great Britain. Tell you what, guys, let us know what you want. We'll put let us know in the comments whether you think.
As long as if it's not called after the place it's going to be, because that's a stupid name.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Universal Studios Bedford, but
they should call it London. Because they call Gatwick Airport, it's nowhere near London, so why not?
Yeah, well, potentially could do. So, like I said, we don't really know much more information. All we know, I'll just give you the quick facts that we do know. It's 476 acres. The expected time frame is to break ground next year in 2026 and to be completed and ready to open by 2031. Whether we get to that timescale, we do not know. But they've still got planning permissions to go in. They've still got a lot of things. They've got to sort transportation out to the area, the infrastructure for the roads, the railway, stuff like that. But it does look like we are 99.9% going ahead. I think it's going to be a major cock up if it doesn't now. It's been announced by the UK government and Universal's CEO, Mike. Can't remember his last name. we made an announcement in a college. So, mate, first thoughts. What do you think?
Rubbish.
Are you ready?
Why do we need Universal? We've got the amazing Cheshunt, Thorpe Park and Alton Towers that have no theming in half the rides don't work, and the staff are rude little brats. Why would we want something immersive like Universal Studios in England?
Yeah, I like saying it's very. Some of the concepts are very similar to other parks that are already out there. This is going to be a quick, brief overview because we're going to talk about. Well, not everyone's going to talk about because everyone's talking about the park, what rides are coming, what lands are coming. We're not going to talk about. Well, we are a little bit, but we're going to talk mainly about what we think this park will have. Fingers crossed, a Halloween horror event. Halloween Horror Nights event. I can't fucking get the words out. I'm half asleep, guys. If you're wondering, I've been awake for nearly 17 hours. I'm tired now. But we'll crack on. If you are looking at the concept art, quickly go from left to right of what ideas that people are saying. So once you come past the globe and the arches, which are at the bottom right, we've got potential hotel on the left hand side. I personally think that whole area there is going to be the City Walk area. I don't know.
Behind the hotel, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's going to be the actual City Walk bit. And if you look at the end of that street, there is like a bit of an arch. I think that's like mainly the entrance into the actual park itself. That's my personal opinion. Maybe, maybe not. But if we go left, we'll go clockwise around the park because there is a big lake in the middle. If you're not watching this on YouTube, which you should do, because it actually helps with the visuals. We have a bit of a play area with like some balloon rides, potentially DreamWorks. Are we going with that?
DreamWorks or AKA Paddington.
Yeah. So people saying Paddington. I'm thinking DreamWorks because getting a licensing issues, it is what it is. Then the next big area around there was one of the major major roller coasters of the theme park. The biggest thing that people are going up about is we're getting Back to the Future. A roller coaster with the Back to the Future area being the courtyard and the clock tower and all that. Be great if we did, because if you know me, I'm a big Back to the Future fan, so I'll be 100% down for that. Then, as we go further round, you've got what looks like just a big grey building, and some like huts and some drop towers. Supposedly, it's very similar to the area in Beijing for Jurassic World, and I wouldn't say no to having that ride over here because it saves me having to go over to Asia for it. Because we get a ride very similar to that one where you're getting chased by a 35 to 40 foot Dominus Rex. I can't say it won't be that good. Then towards the middle and the back of the park, there is the second largest, well, possibly the largest roller coaster in the park, if it is going to be there. And the rumour is Wicked. So you'll be flying around on a broomstick. That's all I can think of. I don't know. I've never seen. I've not seen the film.
It's just going to be a normal sort of sea thing. It's never going to be a broomstick, is it? Maybe like the one at SeaWorld. I can't think of its name. The big blue one.
Mako.
Is it? No, the other one. The purplish colour, maybe. Like the one that's brilliant at night time. Not Kraken, the other one.
Mako.
There's three, isn't there? What are they all called?
Well, you've got Mako, you've got Kraken, you've got the surfing coaster, Icebreaker, and the big purple blue one's Mako. That's a big hyper coaster.
I'm not on about the flying one when you're like Superman.
That's Manta.
Manta, yeah. So it is Mako then. Yeah, I couldn't think of his name. Yeah. Why would you call so many with the same letter in the same theme park? Bloody stupid.
And then it's a bit cut off on this concept art, but there is like a bit of a dome, like a water show area, looking like at the very top and the back of the park. Rumours are James Bond 007, possible stunt show.
I just don't see there being a water show, not in this country.
Well,
otherwise, unless there's a dome on top.
Well, it could be. Like I said, a lot of this does look outdoor, but also there's a lot of buildings. So when I mean a lot of buildings, there'll be a lot of indoor attractions. And here's the big controversial, well, not controversial, but it's kind of very vague of what they're actually showing on the concept art. It's a little area with two big buildings. So a lot of people are saying it's possibly going to be Harry Potter. There's also a lot of people are going for Lord of the Rings. And it's been a standing joke in the UK and a lot of theme park goers for years that Lord of the Rings is coming to a Universal Park at some point. Whether that's just a standing joke and they've just jumped on it with this, I don't know. But it looks very medievalish to me. And if it is anything to do with medieval, like Merlin wizards and the knights of the Round Table, that's very British, isn't it? British and medieval. Then the big area to the right hand side, which looks like people saying it looks like it's got the third roller coaster, but it's very similar to the Minions Land in Beijing, which that is like a pier, and it's got flat rides in it. It's got a little mini roller coaster, and that roller coaster on the top is just a fake roller coaster to show that area is the Minions. And to be honest, that's really it. There's a little area just sort of bottom right as if you walked in, just like a little lagoon area. Some people have said it might be a little bit something to do with Jaws, but that footprint is nowhere big enough for Jaws to ride. If this Jaws going to be there, because that Jaws ride was the size of Diagon Alley.
Maybe a photo opportunity.
It could be, but if you look at what the size of Diagon Alley is, and that was one ride for the Jaws ride, so
that's why I say a photo opportunity, because you see how I trained the dragon at Epic Universe. They could do that with Jaws in the water. I've got a question. The globe down the bottom. What is that building on the bloody right? I keep on looking at it, and it's too well emphasised to be ignored.
I would possibly say that could be
at the shop.
Maybe
Universal Studio store.
Maybe the store or the guest services. I don't know. It could be. Like I say, this is concept art. It can change. But what I am noticing from this, there is a lot of expansion areas. You have a massive area between Back to the Future and Jurassic World, if them two areas are correct. And there's a huge area between Minions and the entrance. There's two massive big areas that have got nothing in it, and they are going to be potential future expansions. Because I did say it's going to be 476 acres, this plot, and they're looking to make it up to 700.
It's not massive, but what we say, Paddington or whatever it's going to be. There's a little spot behind there as well. You could expand that land as well. Yeah, I wouldn't put anything else there, but you could expand that land into a bigger land.
Yeah, there's a lot of area, and don't forget this looks like a very big lake as well.
I'm starting to look at. On the left, if you start looking at their studios, it looks like.
Yeah, potentially. There could be studios, but
there's big ones right past where the U is in the end. There's two big ones there. What gets to what we need?
But they could also be just general buildings, office buildings, because they're going to need offices for this park as well. But like I say, we don't know what we're going to get yet.
A car park at the back as well.
Yeah. I think that's probably just put in there to show representation at a car park. But like I say, it's concept art. It will possibly change. And if you try and imagine this, if you're not watching this on your screen, it's more like Islands of Adventure rather than Universal Studios, with it having the big lake in the middle. Because Universal Studios has got a little lake, and Islands of Adventure has got a huge lake that you walk all the way around.
I prefer a smaller lake, but
yeah, but it potentially would help with drainage, because then if you've got a natural area to actually let water run into.
Yeah, but the only thing that worries me in this country is cold weather, and when you're near big water, it takes in the heat and makes it colder around it. Because when I walk past the bloody mill pond every day in winter, I've come from a nice council estate. Yes, people, I'm not rich, and then I walk past the mill pond. I am bloody freezing.
Well, like I said, if you do look at the concept art, you can see there's a lot of buildings and a lot of stuff is indoors. You do have to walk from space to space, but most of the attractions to me look like they actually are indoors. So I've just quickly scrolled through. There is some high resolution zoom-in areas if you're watching this you can have a quick look. That's what I'm thinking is round the entrance bit for the park itself.
Yeah, that's where there's going to be shops, restaurants, and all that.
Yeah, so that's what's making me think that that's going to be a city walk area. And then where that arches round a little bit towards the lake.
It also makes sense with the hotel.
Yeah. It's just my thinking from the concept art, but like saying things can change. And then there's a zoomed in area of what potentially is going to be the Minions land. So if you look at it, it does look very similar to parts of Universal in Beijing and stuff like that. And then also you can see that area that people are saying that it's going to be Lord of the Rings. That's why I'm saying it's going to be possibly
It's very
medieval.
small, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think it's very vague and very small just because they don't have that set in stone yet. They probably have the Minions land and Back to the Future and Jurassic World because it's their own properties. If this is an IP coming in that they have to license, I don't think they want to give it away yet because they don't want to actually spoil it in case it doesn't come ahead. So then here's a clearer view of that water show, potentially at the back, stunt show, with the hypercoaster, which I can only see it being a hypercoaster because they have gone for, is it 111 meters high, which is nearly 300 odd feet height wise in some of the initial plans. So they could potentially get the UK, the Europeans' tallest roller coaster.
The only thing why I don't think it could be Wicked. Now, hear me out, because I know there's going to be some people get their panties in a twist about this. Wicked's more family based. You don't really think of the biggest roller coaster as Wicked.
No, but it could be similar to what's the new one at Epic? Racers.
Celestial, whatever it is.
Stardust Racers.
That's it.
That doesn't look that intense, but from what we're hearing, it is intense-ish, but it's good enough for families as well. So it could be similar to that. We don't know. And obviously you can see the bigger area of what is potentially Jurassic Park with the dome in the middle and the facade of Jurassic World. And it does look like we've got 2 drop towers, potentially. A bit like Doctor Doom's Fearfall.
Oh, joy. That'd be fun.
Yeah. And it does like have a cascaded waterfall into the lake, which is quite nice. And then this area, which doesn't show it on this picture, but there is a big spike just to the left-hand side of where then 4 pieces of track go into. And if that's a spike, that could potentially be a very, very tall spike. And it could... The room, I think from early people are saying it's potentially a forward and backwards one. So it's not going to be like a top hat where you go up, it'll probably be shot backwards up it and then back down again. A
bit like the one at the smaller version it would be at SeaWorld, funny enough.
Yeah, the icebreaker, yeah. So, yeah, and then
go back quickly.
That's a crap.
Something I was looking at. There's a stage show on the lake.
Yes, I said that because I mentioned this on another show. If that is potentially Hill Valley, and that's a clock tower with the building in the middle, that could be an amphitheatre, and you could easily enough just get bands playing like the Pinheads, because that is one of the Marcy's band, wasn't it? The Pinheads. Get some live music being played.
So much. Could be a short version of the Back to the Future show or West End as well.
Yeah, could be, because that thing is absolutely huge at the moment. It's been extended.
But that, yet again, would have to be indoors.
Yeah. But like I say,
unless that little bit is literally planned for the better months.
It could be. It could be. Like I say, they've got a massive amphitheatre at Islands of Adventure that they don't use. So they are used to building stuff that they don't use. So we'll see. And then obviously you've got this little, I think it's just be a kids area. It could be themed to anything. It could be themed to Paddington. It could be themed to DreamWorks. One thing that's actually just a kids area.
Dennis the Menace, the UK version with Nasha.
Yeah, and what is not being shown on here, I've stopped the video now. I've stopped the picture now. What's not being shown on there is people going out there saying they are going to be building some sound stages potentially. Because it makes sense, because Pinewood Studios, I think it was Mr. Ripley, Chris Ripley, he did mention that Pinewood Studios is always fully booked, and there is always companies wanting to film.
Universal, when they first started with this, they said they were going to have sound stages. I'm actually 100% certain they said they were going to have it, because if the theme park falls through, it's going to come a full movie studio.
Yeah, so
TV movies.
them buildings that we were on about earlier on could actually potentially be, the back behind that car park could be sound stages. But we'll get away from what we think will be with sound stages. What we're going to focus on here is the Halloween Horror Nights. It has been trademarked in the UK since November 2022. It was pointed out by Mr. Ripley back in 2023. There is some people
December.
It's only just been done. Yeah, December 2023. It was spotted. We retweeted it then. So it has been there for a long time. It's been trademarked for a long time in the UK. And yeah, it's been there because I do believe they've been trying to look at doing a UK event like similar to the Horror Unleashed. They have been looking to do that in the UK, in London. So they've always had that trademark in for a long time. And so go away from the infrastructure and we'll just say we're going to get an event. I think if we do get an event, it'll be relatively small for the first year. I reckon maybe 4, maybe 6 houses. Won't be. I don't think it'll be massive like 10 houses. I think it'll be 4 to 6, and it'll be an equal split between IP and originals. Because the UK haunt scene for for Universal will be a first, and the UK haunt scene is completely different to the American haunt scene. It is, I would personally say, a little bit more intense. You can get away with a little bit more in the UK than you can in America, and I think the UK horror will be a lot more intense in my eyes. So, what are your thoughts on your first thoughts on a UK?
Personally, I think it's between 6 and 8 houses. But this all depends on sound stages and space, because that concept art where there's loads of trees, we don't know how many trees are actually really going to be there. But that's potential space for tents. Yeah. Right now, Joe's messaged me. Typical. Probably saying he's ready. I know he was just having a shower, apparently, everyone. If that turns you on. So I think it's in 6 to 8. I think I'm going to go for 6. I think you've got to go, because, as I've said to you, there's us, the people who know this stuff, who are an audience to Universal. We both prefer Universal over Disney, and there's people who are just joining the bandwagon now about the UK one. Nothing breaking up on mine, mate. So hopefully it's recording fine. Yeah, so hopefully. Yeah. So yeah. Well, so I can see my dog as well. I was looking at me. And so it's one of them, they've got to bring it in, but I'm worried that they're going to make it too American, because the American one is phenomenally big, and that would be the blueprint to me.
I think, like saying, the UK haunt industry as a whole, I think, is more scary than the US. But the US their budget is better, and they know how to do the aesthetics better. I don't know if it let me do it. I'm not just put it into a group.
Sorry, yeah. Simon's basically just trying to add Joe. He's just got here. So yeah, I know what Simon's saying. I totally agree. I want it more UK, more intense. But
I'm not going in contact. So what's
I don't even know what his contact is on it, unfortunately. How did you get him last time? Because you added him without me. Did I? Can I add him? Let me have a go. Participant invites.
Yeah.
Right, Joe.
On your contact list anyway.
I bet you found that interesting, people. Well, we'll wait for Joe to continue this conversation anyway, because it just makes sense. It'll take him half an hour. I'll tell you, the biggest scare is going to be National Rail, because it's going to be National Rail. Anybody who works for them is a cluster muck and can't do a proper job. They have these set times, right, and they go home early all the time. This is why your trains never show up, people.
Yeah.
Simon's not saying.
Oh no, he's on about. I was actually spur today, and they gave me a job, and I finished when my job was finished.
Yeah, they're terrible, absolutely terrible company. There. Oh God, look at that ugly face. All right, Joe.
Don't fucking start.
Joe, you've just got into the point when we're literally just about to talk about the event. We've talked about the park quickly.
What fucking event?
Horror Nights Unleashed. We're going to have it 24/7 at our theme park instead of in London. No, Halloween Horror Nights, or as Joe likes to call it, plumbing in bathrooms.
Don't fucking start. Yeah, for those of you that don't...
This podcast has been quite clean till you came on.
Yeah, I've been quite quiet.
Well, for those of you that don't know what I do for a living, I'm a bathroom fitter. And today I dropped a tile on a pipe. And the customer's on holiday, so I didn't know where to turn the water off. So I've managed to flood the whole house.
Oh, that's you doing a lot of overtime then?
Yeah, and cost me a lot of money. So, yeah, but fuck it, anyway. It's all good. It's all good.
Anyway, right. Yeah, like I said, we've gone over the event itself, the park itself, and we're just literally getting into how many houses we think we're going to see if they do this event for the first year.
Okay.
So I've gone for I reckon 6. Phil's gone for 6 to 8.
No, I don't think we'll get that many. I think 4.
Okay. I'm saying I think they're going to see what it's going to be like. But I did mention to the listeners and the viewers that the UK haunt scene is completely different to the US. I think it's a bit more intense and a bit more scary. Whereas the US, it's very prop heavy and very theatrical. Whereas the UK is a bit more in your face. You don't like it, get out. We don't care.
Yeah.
So,
agreed.
Do you think UK people who work at haunts are prepared for the acting skills you need for a Horror Nights?
Yes. There's a lot of talented actors out there.
Yeah, but this is going to be the problem for the UK events because there's not enough.
Yeah, but you can say the same about...
A lot of UK events are going to really suffer with this.
You can say the same
you're
about...
going to choose Universal. Hang on. You're going to choose Universal's Halloween Horror Nights as a scare act because it's that higher CV.
It is, but it's in a very local area. There's a lot of people in the northwest and in the northeast will go to this event, but they won't go and work it because it's just too far for them to travel. And they're not going to go.
In all fairness, Joe, you'll love this. People up Norfolk scary enough as it is. They don't need to be acting.
Like I say, there's some massive scare events up here. You've got Extreme Screen Park, you've got Scare City, Doncaster Fear Factory. There's loads of massive big events up here. But for them to travel down there just for the October, because we've never got into that bit yet. They're not going to do. I don't think they're going to do September, October. If they're going to do it, it's going to be October and October only.
Especially the first year.
Yeah.
It's only an hour away from London. London is full of actors.
Yeah. So you're going to have a lot of people down there willing to commute in. But like I say, from the north, I don't think it'll affect that many scare events because there is a lot of people who do it on a voluntary basis, I believe. They don't get paid. So the people who don't get paid, they're the ones who are going to possibly go down to
I'm
the
just
event
worried
and get
about
paid.
the standards because Universal need a lot of high standards. Every event has a few high standard people in the UK, but Halloween Horror Nights with houses, scare zones as well, probably. You're talking a lot of high standard actors they're going to want because they're going to want that level.
It's so close to London. It is so close to London.
I don't think that matters.
Yeah, but
I think this is totally different from what people have done in England.
Yeah, but you're looking at it that way. This is a rinse and repeat acting job. It's the same thing. It's a repeat. You're doing the same thing. To be honest, any Joe Blogs could really do it. No offense, and don't get offended.
I don't agree with that.
I agree. You can say the same about Orlando.
Some of the things they're literally out of a boo hole at a precise time. They come out,
I'm not going to agree saying anyone can do it because I know many people who've had the jobs and I know many people who've been turned down for Halloween Horror Nights multiple times and they do a lot of auditions.
Why would Orlando be any different to London?
Orlando is very different. A lot of people get turned down for it all the time. That's my whole point.
But London, I bet there's a lot more actors in London than there are more Orlando.
I don't think there is, personally. I don't think London's got that many actors.
London is a famous city for acting.
It's not really, though, is it? It's more Wales these days.
Full of shows.
That's it. Yeah, wait, you're not going to make people leave West End for bloody Halloween Horror Nights.
If they're getting paid,
no, they will not get near the money.
They won't get paid, masters. No, they won't.
They will not leave a West End show. What goes on for months?
It'll be a temporary job.
Look how much bigger Orlando is than London as well. They're much more spread out. People can get the train from London to Bedford.
But Orlando, it's ingrained in. This is totally brand new in the UK. This is my point.
Anyway, I think we're going massively off topic with this now. It's we're going into pedantics that we don't really need to get into. What we'll do is, what if this event does come, which it should do, what are we looking at for IPs? Are we going to go massively UK heavy, or are we going to bring in well-known IPs to start with, and then bring in some originals? And if
Universal Monsters.
If they're going to bring in any UK IPs, is there any UK IPs that you think will be coming to this event, or you would want to come at this event?
Yes.
28 days.
Well, I've heard of 28 days, and I've heard of
Shaun of the Dead
and 28 weeks. There is a film coming out. It's been in writing 20 years later.
28 years later, you mean?
That's what I mean. 28 years later, it's coming. It is being built.
Yeah, but that's coming out this year.
Yeah, but that'll be the latest thing on people's mind for the event.
It might not be.
I'm still going. This guy, Frankenstein and Co. It's got to be a house. They own the rights to it. It's a simple choice.
Because
Universal Monsters.
There is a lot of UK horror that's swept under the rug. Shaun of the Dead is
Chelsea's goalkeeper for one.
Dog Soldiers.
Man United's goalkeeper as well. Yeah, it's shocking at the moment. But is it like saying Shaun of the Dead is, for me, would be...
That'd be a good comedy house.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
There's one that I've watched, and it's probably one that's really hard to find. It's called Creep.
Mate, well, the underground one.
Yeah, but the thing is, you search Creep, it shows the American one.
Yeah, exactly.
And the UK one is literally the underground at night. You're locked in on your own, and there's a guy who is...
It's an amazing film.
I think he's an ex-doctor who's a bit psychotic.
Yeah.
And he tortures people, kills people in that, and it's using a disused underground. That's UK all over.
Yeah.
Here we go. Conjuring 1, because it's based in London.
Yeah. Enfield Hauntings, that's another one.
Yep.
There's loads.
Dog Soldiers.
Yeah.
Yes, that's quite good actually. I forgot all about that. I'll have to I'm scan hot box or dodgy box.
I've not really done any. I've not really looked into the
what was it called again, Joe?
Dog Soldiers.
That's it. I'm going to quickly add it to my
For
list.
any Americans now, you need to get on your dodgy sticks and watch Dog Soldiers.
Yeah,
it's an amazing film.
I have. If you do look at the UK haunts, there's a lot of zombie-esque films. But when it comes to UK gore, they do seem to step it up a little bit more. So I'm gonna say they probably will go all UK for the first event.
Just a quick one, guys, on the dodgy box. Apparently, Popeye the Slayer Man's on there now. Horror. That's a horror.
Yeah, I said all this Cinderella one and all sorts now. Little Mermaid where she bites people's heads off.
There you go. You know what? Anyway. I said this to Simon. So remember I said I'd love the Pooniverse in Orlando? Well, the Pooniverse is set in the UK. Now, we don't have Disney in the UK. What could get this in?
I said I don't know how the copyrights are going to work, but that's for the big bosses to sort out. So, going away from houses. Obviously, any house that we mount, it could also be a scare zone. So we can ponder on what we will want as scare zones. But I think me and Phill came up with, we already have an icon that can come to the UK and be the face of the event for many years. His name is Jack, and it's not the clown; it's the Ripper.
Yeah,
because it's just. It fits. It's UK history of a serial killer that was brutal back in the day. And it would just fit the event.
I've told you this, Jack the Clown can fit in. He can be Jack the Ripper. He is so old that you can put the law of the original icon from Halloween Horror Nights with a twist that this is that period of time he visited the UK and he was Jack the Ripper. So what's his surname?
Fred West.
Smith. So Jack the Ripper Smith. So we get Jack the Clown and Jack the Ripper mixed into one thing.
Yeah.
It works.
And I think also there is other icons you could possibly have. You could have a demented Merlin. Because the medieval England is just horrific.
Well, you can there's so much you can have. You're right. You've got kings and queens.
If you went to do an overall theme for an event, they went for the medieval England.
Yeah.
It just writes itself because you've got torturing, you've got hanging, you've got beheading, you've got people being starved.
I was going to say something about it's in Europe, and you could have added someone from Germany, but that'd be going too far.
Yeah, I don't think they'll bring that dictator in.
Keir Starmer. We're going to have a Keir Starmer house.
Two-tier Keir.
Commie Keir.
Politics is not on the show. Leave it. Right. Anyway. Yeah, so medieval England will just fit right in. And I did mention it a little bit on the concepts out that could possibly be medieval England, a medieval area where people are thinking it's Lord of the Rings. But we'll wait and see for that. So, you put it out to the... Is there anything else you want to add, Joe?
Joe,
if there was a dog soldier's house, I would be fucking happy.
This was a PG episode until Joe came on.
Yeah, it
was. Sorry. Dog soldiers, Shaun of the Dead, Jack the Ripper. There's so many things they could do with it. I mean,
an original house, you can have a zombie.
Imagine a house based on the Black Plague, like.
We do. It's called London Dungeons.
Yeah, but they could do it. Universal could do it better.
Well, like saying the dungeons are a theatrical scare event, and
I've got a house.
They're updated every year. Like York Dungeons just had theirs updated now for this year.
I've got a house.
Easter event. So
I've got an original.
Go on.
Tariffs. You can have a tariff. You can have a tariff. You can have a tariff.
And then when you get
China.
And then when you get to
you can have a super high tariff.
And when you get to the end, you just take them all back. Anyway.
At the end of it's been 90 days later. It's 5 days later, and he's going to let you off for 90 days.
So, you did put that out to the feelers, didn't you?
I did. Some people didn't quite get what we meant, but
we'll go through. We've got a few replies. You put out for people who are looking forward to Universal Studios GB. We're across the pond with the big news about Universal Studios. We record on Friday. A special twist. We want to. What would you want at HHN UK? Comment and we'll read them out on the podcast. Credit to me, which has now actually changed. If you're wondering, it's not at Simon and Julie anymore for this idea. Go and figure it out. You can follow the link up to it anyway. So we got a few responses. You got one from Barry from Theme Park Bazza. It will be black bin bags and plastic masks that cut your face. Yeah, that's typical.
Classic 80s.
It's from, I think he's from Morecambe, Yorkshire, wherever.
Do you know, that's a great scare zone.
States, doesn't he?
Wait, that is a great scare zone, though. You remember when they did the Halloween traditional American scare zone?
Oh yeah, the UK one, the 2p plastic masks.
Plastic mask on, black bag over you and every bag.
If you couldn't afford a mask, you got a paper plate and cut 2 holes in it.
Yeah, but if you make it like the kids from the Sweet Factory all nuts again, it'll just work. It'll be a cheap way of doing it.
Yeah. Right, and we'll just move on. We've got one
brother.
from Joel Montrose, is it? I would want all of it. Houses, scare zones, blinky cups, twisted taters, pizza fries, perhaps a creation of our own icons. Cannot wait. I agree with everything you just said.
Yep, 100%.
We won't be allowed the pizza fries and that because we're health conscious over it.
Yeah.
It's not as much as America.
Well,
it won't be pizza fries. It'll be kebabs and fries.
To be honest, pizza fries, it's just dirty fries. Yeah, pizza fries are just dirty fries, aren't they, really?
Yeah, but it's going to be kebab, isn't it? It's going to be a kebab. Can't be British without kebab in there.
Yeah, which lastens a chilli sauce. Then we got another response from Laura Jones. This would be amazing. Has to be at the same standard as the US, though. Don't fancy doing it when it's cold, though. Well, I agree with that, but we do.
There
have
was a
lot of
reply
events.
to that.
Yeah, and then Joe Montroller's replied to that. It is more festive, though, when you go to the UK haunts where the leaves are turning. It's actually autumn. That is lovely, but agree.
And we get real
needs
fog.
to be the same standards. Yeah. It does get cold in October in the UK. We've done events, but these events still run in the UK, and a lot of them are on farms, so they're very muddy. They're very wet. So just be prepared. This event does go ahead, you possibly will get wet. So I think the event will adapt to it. Because the US, obviously in Orlando, they do get massive rainstorms and they actually disappear off the streets. It'll just be the same again. So it will be 50-50. It's a miss whether you get a proper full event if it rains. But even if it's cold, I think it'll still go ahead.
Different type of rain here, though, mate. So it might be easy for scare actors to stay out in the UK.
It's cold rain here, though.
Yeah, again, it's going to depend. As we said, we don't know if there's going to be any like walkways with like domes over them and all that sort of stuff, like they do in Japan and that. Because it's not on the concept art, it doesn't mean it's not coming.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. So let's say it's all ideas at the moment and all, everything floating around. And then we got from Chris Jennett at HHN UK, would be fun to see some witches. I think you replied to that one, didn't you? And you went and said he didn't realise that we had witches in the UK. And I
didn't reply there was witches. I can't remember now. I said something.
You replied to one, but then I replied later on saying about look at medieval England with wizards and knights and stuff like that. It does make sense. We have had witches in the UK.
I think some people just forget how old the UK is.
Yeah, because the UK's got a history of what we're potentially.
He's obviously never seen Monty Python.
40.
Oh my God! Can we have a
imagine a Monty
on the night
Python
of knees? We are the knights to say me. It's just a flesh wound. But a flesh wound.
Oh, and then you just as you come out of the house, you just got the guy with no arms.
Exactly. And we're going to kill a rabbit at the end and kill a little bunny.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go and watch Life of Brian and all the Monty Python.
Holy Grail. Watch the
Holy Grail and Life of Brian are the best too.
Yeah, there's loads out there. And then we got one from Ryan Large. It definitely needs to be more UK style, not the conga lines. I agree, and I also think with the event being in the UK, I think we'll be able to get away with it in the UK because I don't think it'll be as busy as the US park. So I think we could possibly get away with a slight non-conga line. I don't think it'll be completely pulsed where it's like you're the only ones in the house, like they do at SeaWorld sometimes, or they're not supposed to do at SeaWorld, but they did. I think you will still get a bit of a conga line, but we'll see. It's all hearsay at the moment, isn't it? So, and we've got one from Paul McCann. Love to see some British horror films like 28 Days Later, Dog Soldiers, As Houses, possibly my favourite British horrors. I don't think we have the same relationship with the classic monsters that America does, so not sure ones outside of Dracula and Frankenstein are too well known.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's the one I pointed out, Frankenstein.
I agree and I disagree. I think if anyone's a Universal fan, they've got a special attachment to the Universal monsters.
It is, but
if you're a Universal fan, it's what Universal.
I know what Joe's going to say.
But how many of us are Universal fans in the country? I mean,
that's what I said.
But from looking at what the response was from me putting it out when we got announced, my Facebook, and I've only got 400 or 500 friends on there. My Facebook blew up. I was getting notifications all day, and I probably had over 1,000 notifications. It would be shared, it would be liked, people commenting. And that's from people who are not my friends. Obviously, it wasn't put into some of the theme park groups, but also people who are not who are just friends of mine who know me. I like theme parks. Were asking me questions about what's this bringing, what's it coming.
But I see what Joe's saying there because they're asking you questions because they're not knowledgeable. That's what Joe's saying.
Yeah,
how many of these
everyone
people
knows who
actually
Frankenstein
knowledgeable
and
stuff?
Dracula is. Everyone over here knows who Frankenstein and Dracula is. But
if you listen to people who are into the scare industry in the UK, they know the Universal monsters. They know all of them.
But it's a small, but again, we got on such, we're into it. It's a small fraction of people still.
Yeah, they're going to want to attract everybody. They don't just want us; they want everybody.
But it is still a big. I know you say it's a small portion of people who will be going, but it's still a big portion of the haunt scene.
It's a shame. It's
hundreds of thousands of people.
6 years' time. It's a shame because the best thing would have been Stranger Things. Everyone knew it. It was a big one. Yeah. Ghostbusters is another option that could come.
There's loads that could bring in, but
it's 6 years' time. There could be anything. Do you know what I mean? Like it could be anything.
Yeah. So, like I say, it could eventually be that what we're talking about now is irrelevant because there's a lot more newer stuff come out, and there'll be a lot more newer horror fans from this if we do get the event. Because a lot of people do know about Tully's Shocktoberfest. They know about the Scarefest at Almond Towers, which usually does sell out. Tully's Shocktoberfest sells out. Scare City, the one that I go to,
so price these days, if you ask me.
But they all sell out, and they have limit. They do limit tickets, but they still sell out nearly every single night. So there is a massive market, and I'd say that market knows about the events.
This is why I said I'm worried about the UK events, going back to that as well, because the UK events are used to having the same houses repeating themselves a lot over and over again. Are they prepared for an event that comes over what changes every single thing every year?
Probably not, but
that's what we need.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Because I'm not going to go to Tully's again for another couple of years because it's still the same as it was 2 years ago.
I live 5 minutes away from it. I haven't been since last time we went.
The only one I will go to every single year is Scare City because it is changing. They're changing at least half of it every single year, and they've just put out a group thing to 126 members. Thank you very much for letting me join. If you can let HHE Podcast join as well, that'd be great.
I'm sure they listen to this.
Yeah, well, they might do. Actually, the guy, I can't remember his name. Is it Tom? He did.
Now he's not going to let you in.
Yeah, but I can't remember his name because it's one of the things. They asked him what was their favourite bit about last year. What was their favourite part of the event, and what do you think can be improved? And this is what I think. So a lot of UK haunts don't do anymore. They don't interact with the fans to get the feedback. Universal do. Because we've had how many times have we done these feedbacks on Universal or what your Halloween Horror Night event?
Halloween Horror Nights UK is going to be, if he's still in the game, John Murdy in it. If he's still involved with that sort of stuff at that his age, I still think he'll do the first one personally. Anyway,
I think if it's going to be anyone, I think it'll be Mike Aiello because he always wanted to bring the one.
But I say John Murdy because he's moving back to Ireland apparently, isn't he? So
yeah, but I think he's moving back to Ireland to actually want to do this park. He's going to be like want to see one of the people.
Look, I just want a Nick come HHN 365 thing when I can say Murdy tweets.
He lives in Ireland anyway, doesn't he? I thought he lived in Ireland anyway.
He's more
50-50.
abroad, but he's moving back full time. It sounds like.
Yeah, he's stepping away from Halloween Horror Nights.
See, I think Mike Aiello's going to run making the park because he's got that experience of Epic.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with
that.
Yeah. Well, I'll just skip Craig's for now. We'll go down to the one at the bottom because Craig will. He, next time, mate, just send in a voice memo. It would have been quicker.
What's he getting at? Well, tell us what he's getting at. He's
excited
because he always gets involved, so it's only fair that we read it out.
Yeah, but I was going to do because he put like 3.
Leave the best to last. Leave the best to last.
No, that last one. Leave the Rachel one to last.
No, Craig. Don't be cruel to Craig.
Right. Well, from Rachel Adams, they said they usually pick something that's currently a big box office or Netflix hit to draw people in, and that there's controversial fast pass system, which allows you to do everything in one night as a queue is shorter, but it's so expensive. Yes, I agree with the box office and the Netflix.
Netflix might not be around in 6 years.
Yeah, it might not be. But then to say that the fast pass system is controversial, well, one, it's not a fast pass, it's the express pass.
Could we call fast pass in England?
No, it'll be express pass. But for it to be called controversial, I don't understand where you're coming will be controversial. It's an added extra. There's nothing stopping you. You don't have to buy it. Yeah, that's what I mean. You don't have to buy it. It's an added extra. There's nothing controversial about it in my eyes. And I do agree it is expensive, but it's also limited. Because that's the point.
That's the point of it.
It's expensive for a reason.
Yeah, it's expensive to stop average Joe, no offence, coming along and...
Average Joe, the bathroom mucker.
But it's to stop the average person coming along, spending $30 or 30 quid, getting an express pass to all the houses, and then everyone buys it.
There's
and then
no
that queue's just as long as a normal queue.
Yeah.
The whole point of this express is, if you want to experience it, you can still do it all in one night. We can prove that Halloween Horror Nights can be done in one night without express if you know how to do it and how to plan. What's pulling his face for? What?
R.I.P. tours.
Yeah, potentially. That's what
I want them.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
So we'll go into that in a minute, but let's get back to the question at Rachel asked. It's expensive, but that's the reason why it's there. It's there. If you want to stop the queues, you don't want to stand in the queues, fine. By all means, buy it. If you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. It's your choice. There's nothing controversial about it in my eyes.
The only reason we don't need it for the UK in 6 years, and this is just me going back to technology, is Halloween Horror Nights in the UK can be set up and they can plan it before it even starts. It can be virtual queuing.
It'll be paperless.
Virtual queues.
It'll be face recognition. They're doing it at Universal now.
But what I'm saying, virtual queue, so that you can bugger off, do rides and all that, and they say, you're in the queue at this time, well, then makes the queue not super long.
Yeah. So,
or as Joe would say, we'll have that as an extra bonus price, because Joe likes spending loads of money.
No, man. We know Joe's the Craig of the podcast.
Joe and Craig are the two who love spending. I'll tell you what, let's have a cake party there as well.
Yeah, but I just like getting there, doing everything, and getting the fuck out. That's why I spend the money.
I love doing like the houses, and then I also love, like Simon got me into, hanging out in a beer area, having a few drinks, chatting away to everyone.
I do that as well. I do that as well.
You can't. You go with your young boys. You never want to meet your mates on holiday.
Well, that thing is not working at the moment. Just give me a second.
Don't
push yourself, boys.
Yeah, okay, Joe. So let's face it. If it was Halloween Horror Nights, it would have to be the South running it, wouldn't they? Because the North would muck it up.
Yeah, we run everything.
Yeah, we run the country. Sorry, Craig, if you're listening, mate, but we do. What you do, but we do. We run the country. Right. We get the better weather.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just getting all of Craig's tweets up because you only said them in the first bit.
I was scared it was only 2.
No, it's 4 in total.
Yeah, I thought you did. Oh my God.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying.
Deal with him.
You should have actually just sent a voicemail. So,
Craig, next time when I message you on Facebook about it, just send it on there to me.
Well, I'll be back in 2 minutes. I need a piss.
Yeah, well, you go for a piss. I'll.
Don't break the bathroom.
Yeah. So we've got great idea, guys. I would like to see Slaughter Cinema style house of Alfred Hitchcock movies.
A
couple of rooms of some of his more terrifying films, Psycho, The Birds, Frenzy, etc. And maybe some other movies could have Hitch doing the jump scares as he likes to cameo. Another suggestion was 28 Days Later. I think we spoke about that.
Everyone's had that one. It's such a blatant choice.
And then I've got to say a Doctor Who house as the second IP. Don't think Disney will do anything to do with Doctor Who by the time the new park is built.
Doctor Who's stopping this year.
With Daleks, Cybermen, Weeping Angels, and Master. And then 2 originals I would like to see will be Chamber of Horrors, which is infamous British criminals from history. Don't know if that would translate well for overseas visitors though.
McRae.
Also, some sort of dungeon house. So I think we kind of covered everything on that one.
A dungeon house, yet again, would be like a medieval castle sort of thing back in them days.
I like the idea of the Alfred Hitchcock.
It's actually a very clever idea. I actually like the medieval idea from him, actually, because why Americans do Renaissance, they never actually had it for real. We are a country, what is brought up with it.
Well, yeah, we didn't live through it, but our ancestors did. And it was a brutal time.
Tell you what, mate, looking at me, I think I might have.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying back in them days, it was either survive or die. It was that's the way the world was.
A house I'd like to have, something to do with the redcoats. They could be zombies, vampires, things like that.
What about the redcoats that have been forced out of Boston? and they've come back for revenge on the US.
What would Boston White do that for?
What? No,
Boston White. Good old shout out.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Boston, if you're listening to this, come on. Get on the show. We're not heard your lovely voice for a long time.
She needs to get back into podcasting. She was so good with the horror events. And that is why we are sacking Joe from the show soon, because he's an absolute pile of sack of shit.
He's not prepared. He comes in late, then he has to go for a toilet break. Didn't ask for a tardy slip. Mate, you don't...
Vaping away.
I do what I want when I want.
Even smash up people's bathrooms.
Quickly, we'll just go quickly over it. He mentioned about Halford Hitchcock films, something to do with Slaughter Cinema, and two originals he would like to see was Chamber of Horrors, which is the infamous British criminals from history, and some sort of dungeon house.
But where'd you go through infamous British criminals? So where'd you go for the Craze? Oh, that'd be fucking awesome.
Well,
how would you make? Would you make them? You would have to make them mystical vampires or something, because just a house on criminals would it's not really Horror Nights, is it?
No, it doesn't. I know someone did say we could have a Fred West house, but I don't think that would go down very well.
Who the fuck?
Sutcliffe from Crawley. Yeah. Have you ever heard of Sutcliffe?
Who said we should have a Fred?
How about a Gary Glitter house? The BBC, Gary Glitter, Roll Harris. Now
BBC house, BBC house of paedophiles. Yeah, there we go.
Oh yeah, and obviously the kingpin of it all would be Jimmy Savile.
I think we're on the verge of getting cancelled.
With Prince Andrew.
Now you've done it. You got the royals involved. We're done. We're going to be knocked off the face of the planet now.
Who said we should have a Fred West house? Tell me who said
Simon did. That's who said it. No one else. He tried to blame someone else.
Put it I'm not going to throw anyone under the budge, but it was said off camera. But I've said it on camera, so in theory it's me now, isn't it?
Oh, right. I'm going to say he's about nearly 7 foot tall. I'm going to guess.
I shall not say or deny.
Come on, that is such him.
I will not say anything.
That's him.
Who the person was.
I'm not saying names, but I know it's someone who's like 7 foot tall almost.
So yeah, I think we got some. Is that all the replies we got? I know you've only sent me about 5 there, but possibly might have been some more. But I think Craig.
It was something about the Universal Park. I'm sure there was. I'll send them through to you.
No, you only sent me them bits that I've read out.
Let's have a look.
Have you boys spoke about Epic Universe yet?
Yeah. Why would we talk about that sack of shit?
Because it's Epic fucking Universe.
Let me have a look, Simon, and see if there's any more. There's nothing epic about it all, mate. It's a big con.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not even going to it.
I've got all the ones of. Yeah,
maybe I sent the other one to your WhatsApp, I think. When I was saying about the other person getting confused about the question. I think I sent it to you on WhatsApp.
Oh, yeah.
From Andrew Meadows.
Nope.
Maybe adding in a transport ride of some description, a monorail, sky ride, miniature railway, some less mobile people, and those softies like me who like to chill, something more gentle between thrill rides and a caterpillar ride. So he was more talking about the theme park, not Halloween horror. And this is my point. I don't think he may have known what HHN was.
No.
I've lost the headphone.
To be honest, if you're listening to this, you know what Halloween events are. And if you want to give people an overview of what they are, it's trick or treating for adults.
Well, don't you think it's good?
What's the best way of it?
I think we should chat quickly about what we want in Universal UK. Surely
we've already done that.
Yeah, I've missed it. What do you boys want?
Well, that's your fault for not knowing how to make a bathroom.
I'm sure you boys know what I want. I want a DeLorean.
You can't have a red light, mate, district. You can't have that.
We have gone through it. There is that big roller coaster on the left-hand side on the concept art. We do believe it's going to be Back to the Future. And Jurassic World, and I said, that land, if we get similar to Beijing, we're being chased by an Indominus Rex. I'll take that because it saves me going over to Asia for it.
Coming out very soon.
Yes.
Yeah. It comes out very soon.
Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, yes.
Joe Hansen either. Yo. Yeah. I think it comes out the same month as Superman as well. So there's a lot of big movies coming. Oh, there you go. DC, could we have a Batman Arkham Asylum house? With all the bad criminals from Batman? Because they are sick motherfuckers, them criminals.
Well, we could have anything, man. It's 5 years away. You don't know what's coming.
Yeah. It's not 5 years, it's about 8 years. This is the Britain we're talking about. We don't have a bill like Disney.
If it's Universal...
No, I think Universal are going to get the right people in and pay the money to get the right people in.
So, Joe, you're not getting a job.
We've got some of the best tradesmen in the world. Trust me.
Oh, yeah. So what happened today, Joe?
I flooded the fucking bathroom.
Right. Best tradesman.
But I sorted it.
Cool.
Apart from Back to the Future, what would you want, Joe?
I'd like to see How to Train Your Dragon for my kids, because my kids both love that film.
They've already said anything from Florida will not be coming.
Yeah.
Jaws.
I had an idea about Jaws. There's a little lake next to Minions, a little pond area. And I said, like, How to Train Your Dragon for enough, why can't that be a photo opportunity when Jaws comes out the water?
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't get a full-blown ride. It takes up a massive footprint, and the headaches they got from having Jaws and Jaws version 2.
Oh, yeah.
When it first opened, it's just not worth them even attempting to bring Jaws back.
Do you think Back to the Future, could they do the 3D Jaws thing from the clock tower down in the cinema thing? Yeah, if they can get the lasers working, that.
So have they actually said we're not getting anything over here that they've got abroad?
They said there will not be any. They said in the original press release in 2024 in April. They said if they do come over, they want everything to be new. There won't be carbon copies. So it might be similar.
I think it's just of America.
So it doesn't mean we're not going to get the same themed land.
No.
It just means we're not going to get the same rides.
If you think about it, when you've got the US and then you've got Asia, we're in the middle in Europe. Because don't forget, even though this is UK, it's a European park. We're in the middle. And for the Americans to get to Asia, it's the same as us going to Asia. Because they go the other way.
Yeah.
But for them to get to Europe is a little bit quicker. It's only maybe about 2-3 hours faster, I think. But it's still quicker and easier for them to get to Europe than it is to get to Asia.
Yeah.
And then if you've got everything from Asia, like Jurassic World, the Minions area, other things like that, in Europe, it's going to drive people from the American market over here.
There you go. You know that Universal
get some of the Asian markets coming over here to get to some of the stuff that's similar to the US, but not the US stuff.
Imagine if we got like an original old school version of Universal, where we got like the original Kong earthquake. That'd be amazing.
Me and Phill.
I'd love an earthquake. I love an earthquake type of thing.
Did you ever go on earthquake back in the day?
I went on original earthquake, and then I went on it when it was disaster.
Yeah, me too.
I did disaster.
I preferred the earthquake because it made it feel like the whole lot was in it. Because you didn't have that stop start like you did with disaster. Well, but I did enjoy both.
The original Kong was better than what we've got now.
Oh, it will be because it's an actual massive animatronic.
Maybe we'll get a Jonathan Wass through the Cities of London ride.
Oh,
instead of Jimmy Fallon.
You just said
I just got a message.
You know what my worst nightmare will be for anything at this park? Anything to do with Keith Lemon.
Oh yeah.
Anything to do with him, I'll be done.
Peter Kay or Michael McIntyre.
I could do with Peter Kay.
Peter Kay hasn't been funny for about 15 years.
All you need to do is put a sign up saying garlic bread. That's it. That's a Peter Kay reference. Done.
It's not funny.
It was funny 20 years ago.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm just reading. Apparently they're talking about getting rid of boarding passes and check-in planes. It's going to be like the theme parks.
Yeah, but it's going to take at least 3 years to come in.
That'd be cool, though. That'll make it a lot easier.
How long have we been waiting for this technology to have our bags scanned?
It's at Gatwick now, I'm not worried.
Yeah, I know, but how long has this been? How long has this been going on? About 10 years now.
I still want digital passports because I hate having a physical passport on me. It scares the shit out of me.
That's what they're gonna do in 3 years.
They're doing it with driving licenses. They're having the driving license. I know that.
They said in 3 years' time you can put your passport on your phone, and you won't have to have a boarding pass or anything.
The only problem with that, for having a passport on your phone, every country you go to has to agree to have the same thing. Otherwise, it can't work.
Yeah.
Well, it's same with that, the liquids. The liquids for leaving the UK, we can take as much as you want, but then you can only bring 100 mil back.
Joe, have you ever been caught for taking your dildo through yet?
No.
Okay.
No, I've not, no.
Simon, butt plugs?
Yeah, I've been caught on mine. Yeah. I didn't even take them with me.
Did take it off. Through the scanner. What's that up his arse? Simon just had a seizure, I think.
Yeah, my back just went. I think that's it, boys. Yeah, I think we've exhausted all the reviews of it.
It's so hard until we start seeing a proper look of the park, isn't it? What it's a proper mock-up of the park to see what.
Well, like I say, we will be revisiting this, and as soon as
what
we
about
get
Horrors Unleashed? London. I
don't think that'll happen now. I don't think that'll happen.
Depends how it does in Vegas.
Yeah, I think see how Vegas goes first. If Vegas works, I think one in the UK would work.
And you think it doesn't take 6 years to build it?
Because, prime example, look at the dungeons. York, Edinburgh, Blackpool, London, they're all year round.
But we had Passage del Terra, didn't we? That shut down in London.
Yeah, but we've still got it in the thing at Blackpool. It's been going for 27 years now, 28 years.
Yeah, but you think Horrors Unleashed, you bring that now, that's also great advertising for HHN.
The problem you've got with Passage del Terra is it's very high IP.
So what is this thing? Is Passage, does it have like what Horrors Unleashed does? It has the special bars?
No, it's a walk-through attraction, and they literally have characters who are dressed as famous characters, so I won't spoil it because they don't want it to be spoiled, because if the IP find out...
Horrors Unleashed is quite different.
I went through the one in London. When they had the one in London, they had Exorcist. I can't remember what else they had. It was Exorcist, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
That's a shock.
You probably had Jason there, you probably had Freddy.
Yeah. Michael Myers was there, yeah.
Biggest thing I regret never doing in London was the Alien Quest thing from the Alien films, when you would go around with the laser guns. And
that was in the Trocadero, wasn't it?
That looked so good. I never got a chance to do it.
I did Alien the Ride at Granada Studios in 4D back in the 90s, and that was a ride and a half. That I think that's probably what threw my back out when I was a kid.
See, that's why I think it can work in London, because also, we'll say 3 houses, not 4. They can change one at a time, can't they? Keep 2 running. They've got the pubs, bars. But let's be truthful, Joe. You and me, we wouldn't keep them going for the houses. I'd say, do you want to come up to London? I'll meet you there for a drink.
Yeah.
We'd be more immersed into that area.
But that's because it's so easy for me and you to get there.
Yeah, well, it's tough. Who cares about the Northers? They go on towers.
All fails at the moment. It does. Well, actually, to be honest, it's not as bad as Hyperia at Thorpe Park.
Yeah, have you seen that video the other day?
Everyone knows what I think of Thorpe Park. I think it's a crap theme park.
Yeah, but to build a ride,
though, man.
To build a ride that's been claimed to be the UK's tallest roller coaster by 1 foot, and it has spent more time on its ass than actually running, there's something seriously wrong. And I don't personally think, I've not said this publicly, but I don't think it's got nothing to do with Mac, who built the roller coaster. It's all to do with Merlin and cutbacks.
Because they've got no staff.
Merlin needs to, if they've got 6 years now, they don't step their game up, they're done.
So that's another point about the park. These British people ain't prepared for this. Universal will have all year round engineers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They'll do the schedule maintenance like they always do. They'll shut a ride down. Because the thing is, the UK parks, they shut for maybe 5 to 6 months of the year. And that's when you need, if they're going to do the maintenance, do it. Hyperia's had problems all last year. Yeah. Get it sorted for the new year. What did they go and do? They waited until a week before. And it's broke again. Stardust Racers, it had an issue during practice, and when it was being what did they go and do? They fixed the problem. They added a brake run or added a bit of a braking into it to stop it going too fast or too slow, whatever they did. And then they spent another 4 or 5 days of running it, making sure it didn't break. What did the UK do? Oh, let's send it out with some dummies. Right, it works.
Simon.
Let's send it out empty. It breaks.
Simon, let's get back to the Horror Nights in the Park thing now.
Yeah.
Let's quickly talk about what transportation is coming, because you know that stuff. And you've already seen there's quite a lot of hotels around that area already.
Yes. There was a lot of B&Bs already there. And I don't want to tell you, there's 3 hotels, I'll say 3 major hotels that are the biggest chains in the
That's
UK
got to double.
Are nearby, and they are really close. And I think they're possibly within walking distance to at least the car park. And them hotels are going to be rammed. It's your Premier Inn, your Ibis, and Travel Lodge. They're all within that mile of the station.
But they're going to be people's cheaper type of choices if you're nearby.
Yeah,
because they're cheaper hotels.
I don't think they're going to be cheap.
But when I say cheaper choices,
don't be surprised if
Universal
Universal buy them out.
The Universal hotel is going to cost about £300 a night, if you're lucky, if not more.
400. You look at £400-500 a night.
So you're talking about these. These are going to be about 120, 150 quid a night.
They're going to sell out. So you're going to have to be quick. You have to plan well in advance. Yeah.
But then don't be surprised if Universal say, okay, we'll build another 2 hotels.
Oh yeah,
budget hotels. So we'll end up with something like Dockside and Surfside.
Well, that's what we mentioned before. There's 476 acres of potential build now, and they're hoping to expand to 700. That's literally another third on top, or more than a third on top. So there's future expansions for potentially another, I'd say, indoor water park maybe, and then more hotels, a bigger city walk. Because don't forget, when Universal Studios Florida opened, it was a car park, an entrance.
Yeah.
The actual the studios. Then they backed it up. They backed the car park up, put a city walk in. Then they backed up the car park again and put the multi-story car park in. Then they built islands. Yeah. And they just built, and then obviously they bought wet and that area down there. Expanded with the hotels.
With us and them, France, this is now a proper week to a week and a half holiday for people now, if they want to, especially if you're travelling from abroad or America.
Well, this is the opportunity Disney have got now with Disneyland Paris is to get that park right, get that studio park sorted. It's been promised to the fucking frozen land for the last fucking 10 years.
Mm-hmm. We're going to get a lot of French over it.
It's Avatar all over again. It's taking too long. We're supposed to be getting
We're
Star
going to get so many French over here. Can we get rid of the Eurotunnel?
The Star Wars land.
I voted Brexit for a reason.
I'm saying on topic, but the Star Wars has been scrapped from Disney. It's just it is what it is. And French, I can't stand them. They're arrogant fuckers.
I love Simon. They're so
fucking horrible, man. But the thing is,
Simon was a judge. Go on.
The thing is, Universal have got a real opportunity now to make a world-class destination, especially with City Walk. Look at City Walk, right? They've got the opportunity to build like a decent shop, like Toothsome, Hard Rock Cafe, but as long as they don't go down the route of like English restaurants.
We're getting Greggs and Wagamama.
I don't know. I don't mind a Greggs. I don't want anything else. I heard it on your other podcast with MP. No, give me what's actually in City Walk. I want a Twosomes, a Hard Rock, an NBC Sports Bar and Grill. What would be called Sky Sports over here?
Imagine that. Imagine like a Premier League bar.
Yeah, but that's what NBC, because you got to remember Comcast owned Sky.
Yeah.
So it's not hard for that bar to come on.
They did mention that quite a lot.
In London, let's have one at the theme park.
But you used to have one in London,
Cowfish. Yeah, we got Cowfish.
We had Bubba Gump in London.
I think they should put Hooters in there as well while we're at it.
Oh, Joe will never leave.
It's interesting.
Go on.
I want a nightclub in there as well.
Well, you're not going to get that straight away. That'll be an add-on once the park's opened and it starts to get popular. It starts to get more traction. But opening day, I think we're going to probably be looking at maybe 15 to 20 attractions. Maybe. in total. I'm talking including kids' rides and stuff like that. Bit like Epic Universe's, 19 attractions altogether? And that's a bigger park than what we've got in the UK.
Yeah.
Miles bigger, though.
Yeah. So, but they have got a
So
lot
big
of
that Celestial Park is so wide open right now that I would advise anybody in the summer going to Celestial Park, maybe take an umbrella, because the trees ain't grown yet.
No, I'm not looking. That's one thing I'm not looking forward to in June is it's going to be hot and there's no shade.
We forgot about the trains, Simon. So what's coming for the trains for this new theme park?
There is a west. It's a western line from like Milton Keynes coming through to that area towards London to expand and do it. There's 2 train stations potentially going to be rebuilt to support 4 platforms rather than the current 2. Wrexham's getting a new station, which is on the other side of Bedford. Yeah, Wrexham it's called.
Wrexham.
Not Wrexham. Just making sure.
Wales.
Yeah. They're going to do a train line.
That's going to be a 4. And the Kempton, I can't remember what it's called, Kempton something Heath, I think it's called. That's right next door to Universal. I mean, that's literally on the car park. That will probably be a Universal Studios.
So where do you reckon it go from London? Where do you reckon it'll start from London?
Pancras or Euston?
Houston. Yeah.
Probably be Houston towards Milton Keynes. It will be. Because I don't think...
It won't be Victoria.
No, King's Cross is to
probably
the right.
be Euston, because Euston or St Pancras is North London. So it's got to be that side of London.
Well, yeah, because St Pancras and King's Cross go towards the east of the country. East. And Houston go towards the west. You got the west coast.
Not Houston. Houston's in Texas, mate.
Houston. Houston shithole.
I'm not going to argue that.
It's a horrible station.
But one thing I was going to ask you, boys, in all fairness,
Clapham Junction should be used because that's nearer to me.
Have you boys ever been to Thorpe Park Fright Nights?
No.
No. I've heard too many horror stories. I've heard too many horror stories about the kids who go there.
It does genuinely feel like you're going to get stabbed.
Yeah.
My worry is we're going to get a decent world-class event on here and someone's going to get fucking attacked, stabbed, something like that.
I think Universal will price it out of their bracket.
It's the security. The security systems will be so high.
Yeah. Like Thorpe Park, it's a couple of part-timers who don't really give a shit about the job.
Yeah.
No disrespect if you are listening to this and you work for Thorpe Park as a security guard, but you don't really want to be there. It's a paycheck at the end of the day for them. With Universal, they're going to get paid probably half decent if it's anything to do what they do with the US parks.
Full-time job as well.
Yeah,
because someone did actually get stabbed, didn't they, at Thorpe Park a couple of years ago?
Yeah, but now there is a bigger security presence. But like I say, so the metal detectors are absolutely useless. The ones at Universal that they use in the US are pretty strong.
I think at first it'll be about like the old days in Orlando and how Halloween do it. I think we'll have a high police presence in the park.
Yeah,
but it's just it's a sad situation when we have to talk about this sort of thing.
It's true though, isn't it? It's no different than Americans with their pew-pews.
Yeah, it's the same. Like I said, you look at gun crime in the US and you talk about our knife crime.
Pew-pews, Simon.
Pew-pews.
Pew-pews. Don't say guns and that. But we can get... No, because seriously, if I put this on TikTok, it can be taken down for using that word, so it's pew-pews.
Well, can you? So you can't even say the other word that's been with the K either now, can you?
What's that?
It can be unaligned.
Kai.
Yeah.
Kevin.
Anyway. Oh yeah, it's Kevin, everyone. On that note, I think...
I've been Kevin.
We'll end on the gun crime and the stabbings. Brilliant.
Why you say gun? Pew-pew. Pew-pew and stick.
We'll end up with the pew-pew and a stick. Okay. So, yeah, guys. So, if you are listening to this, thank you very much. If you're listening all the way to the end. If you listen to all the way to the end, well done.
I hope you enjoyed the arguments as well.
Yeah. Well done. Congratulations. You get a gold star and a 10 out of 10 from me. Follow us on our socials at HHE Pod and at HHE Pod 1 on TikTok. Follow us on this. What?
I'm so good on TikTok.
Oh, make it bigger. obviously, if you're watching
this, take your blue pills to do that.
Yeah. Hit the thumbs up on this video. Share it to a friend. Subscribe. It costs absolutely nothing to subscribe. It's that little button that says if it's not red, click it. Make it go red. Make us go subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. Hit the bell because the bell lets you know when we release new videos, and we will be releasing a lot more. We're ramping up to haunt season now. We do have another
podcast coming still.
Yeah, we do. The one we've pushed one back to let this one out because this will be released pretty quick. But we have got the haunt event is starting to come through now. We're hopefully going to get an announcement in the next few weeks, or maybe at least a month at the latest, I think.
I'd be terrified for that announcement.
Yeah, so would I. Got 2 black bin bags. So yeah, that's from me. I'm going to say, I'm going back to the old school. Tatty bastard, bye bye.
It's not the old school, because you said bastard.
Well, that's the new bit. It's tatty bastard now.
He'll forget it, Joe, all right, by the next time.
Thanks to everyone that's contributed. Good night, sweet screams.
And just remember, I'm always right. Seeing your nightmares and stay epic.
I'm always right. Oh my God.